Thank you. Welcome today. We are glad to welcome Kristijan. How do you say your last name? I always, I hear you do it different ways.
I mean, it's Italian
Yeah.
surname, and therefore maybe it should be correct to pronounce it like Cinotti. But Croatian version is Cinotti, so all people usually say Cinotti, and that's fine.
Okay, so Kristijan is, I say Cinotti, I don't know why, but it's great. It's great to have you with us. He is the correct me if I say any of this wrong, he's the founder and director of Mazars Croatia. So you started off as one of the first Croatian chartered accountants, right? You were one of the first people that got that.
One of the first people who got tax consultant license.
Okay, tax consultant license. Okay.
I was very young back then. So.
Yes. And you were a sole proprietor of your business in the beginning, right? You were alone.
Yeah.
And now you've grown to is it around 130 employees today? And when did you join in the Mazars network?
That was 2012, first as a correspondent, and 2013 I decided to move to Mazar as an integrated partnership. So we are kind of partnership. It's a globe partnership.
Yeah.
For taxes, we do taxes, audit, accountant, all kind of accounting services. The reason why I joined them is that I wanted to be part of international network and to serve international clients.
Yeah, and that might be something maybe somebody would be interested in asking you later, is how you made that decision whether to join a larger organization. He's the author of 3 books on tax and finance. He's almost done with a PhD in economics.
Yeah.
Is that right? You're very, very close now. And you oversee, is it Mazars in Serbia as well?
We started actually under Mazars umbrella. We started Mazars Serbia and Mazars Slovenia Channel 2 services. So all in all, there are some 160 people under my authority, let's say like this.
Wow.
I have partners as well.
Yes,
so.
yeah. But yes. And that's the way these accountancies work, as partnerships usually, yeah. But he also serves as the president of an organization called Partner, an association of business leaders in Croatia that promotes ethics and biblical values in the workplace. So again, as a reminder, please feel free to put questions in the chat window. Okay, great. I'll get the mic there as close to you as possible. So first, let's speak about how you make a professional impact through your company. So 2 questions. First, what values guide your work, and can you tell us about a time when your values were tested?
My mission was that was my idea to prove that biblical values are working even here on the Balkans. So that was my kind of mission, that I wanted to really prove that these biblical values are still vivid and they are actually key success factor for success in business. That was my first idea, because here on the Balkans it's not people usually think that if you want to succeed, you have to bribe, you have to cheat, that kind of things. And I wanted to prove that it's completely different. One first important revelation for me was that God's kingdom should be, we should try to establish God's kingdom here on earth, and therefore we should pray as it is in I don't know how to say that in English, Oče naš,
the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, that we should pray that God's kingdom should be on earth, and that was kind of revelation for me. And that was one rule, as you put here, value that guided me through my professional life. I translated this two values that I have into honestly and professional, pošteno and professional. And one of them is if we really try to do God's will on earth, that means that we should work honestly, professionally, and with all diligence as we should work when we work for God. And another thing was golden rule that we should behave toward others or do to others what we wanted that others should do to us. Sorry, I'm translating my creation into English. So
That's great. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And what can you tell us about a time that was tested? Because that sounds fantastic, but how does that really work? I mean, you're not running a company that has Christian clients. You have government institutions, large private corporations are clients. Can you tell us about a time when running that kind of business was tested?
I have to say we don't have many governmental institutions as they don't fit with us very well. Quite openly we were asked to pay bribes, that kind of things we refused, and therefore it's not easy to work with them. There were periods in our development where we were under pressure to issue positive opinion, audit opinion.
Right.
In audit business, it's you're under pressure to issue positive statement, and because clients want that, banks want that, and if you issue other than positive opinion, that has many impacts at the end. And we refused several times, and while we refused, some other auditors just jumped in and just signed, and we did almost all work, and they just signed, and they got their pay as they did all work. We were paid as well, but we didn't want to sign positive opinion. That was one situation. Another one was that we lost some clients, and even some of them were very important. Even it was connected with existentium.
Like the survival of your company,
and especially that was after 2008. There was financial crisis, and I put my people together. We were then like 20, and I said to them, we will say no. We won't issue positive statement, even if we lose our jobs. And my people supported me, and that was really good. We lost that client at the end. It was very painful, but then there were changes of circumstances, and at the end we got many new clients because we refused that to sign positive opinion.
How does that happen? How do you get clients by losing one?
It was really strange because ownership in that company changed, and the new ownership wanted us to. They heard that we refused to sign something we shouldn't sign, and they appreciated that very much, and therefore they invited us again, and they gave us additional work. So it was great testimony for my people.
That's a great testimony.
I told them, do you see that it is worth it to be honest? That was really good.
Wow, that's a great story. So another question, professionally, you've gone from alone to 10, 20, over 100 people now. What is something you've had to learn or unlearn as a leader as your team has grown?
You have to adapt to new situation. You have to change your way how you manage business when you have 10, 20, 30 people. I mean, maybe best period of our development for me was when we were like 20, 30. I could control everything. I had everything in my head, and
you knew everyone probably.
Yeah, I knew everyone. We were like a family. It was really nice. But I understood that if I don't change my way of managing, we won't grow. And therefore, I have to empower my people to give them confidence and to give them authority to make decisions, to lead and support them. And it was very different.
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's a great story, but it's great to be able to see an example of somebody who you've been able to grow as your business has grown. I guess I'm sure there's so many stories you could tell about that. Well, let's talk some about the social aspect, social impact that Mazars has made, and I really appreciate you getting us a little insight into that. There are so many stereotypes about what makes a business able to succeed. And so I really appreciated hearing some of the Mazars story. Can you tell us in a few minutes, because I think it'll help maybe give people some insight into some of the things you do broader than your business. What was the life of Kristijan like as a high school student? Tell us a little bit about that era of your life.
Well, I was born in Bosnia, and I had to flee as a refugee to Zagreb, and that was a really hard time for me because my mother was one of the owners of one drug company in Bosnia, and we had everything what we needed. And then I moved to Zagreb, and Zagreb is big city, and I lost in a way. I started to look after purpose for myself, and at the end I found my purpose in Christianity, in Christ and Bible. And I during my high school time I work almost every job you can imagine, like Santa Claus and construction worker. I was selling every kind of predmeti.
Materials, like
I mean, like perfumes and
door to door.
I mean, all kind, everything what you can imagine. I was selling that, and everybody in the school knew, like in the prison, you know, you always have the guy.
Oh, Kristijan.
That was me.
You sold the newspapers on the street
this
too. Yeah, actually, that is. I think there must be a connection there that you've been used to that, and I we're the same age, and I wasn't here then, of course, but I see that in so many people your age who were in those turbulent war years and really developed some amazing skills at sales and survival. And do you think does that affect then too how you look at some of these issues about Croatia and the culture around you that you've known the experience of being a refugee yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it helped me to have this to develop my working ethics and working. You know, in Croatia, many people would like to work for public institutions,
right?
As they, you know, you don't work much there, and you have pay at the end. So, as more I studied Bible, the more I understood that God wants us to be honest and good workers, and it's kind of service for Him as well.
Yeah,
and that helped me really to be committed and a good worker.
Yeah, that's great. Well, because you again more or less lead an extremely interesting initiative in Croatia, which is called the Lighthouse Award. So tell us about that and why you did it.
I mean, I always sense that desire to change our society, to change our environment, to make Croatia a better place to live. And one of the problems we as a society have is that we don't, honesty is not value in our society, and that's one part. Another part is that we don't appreciate normal people, normal workers who
Right.
work hard to earn their salary. You know, people in Croatia, they appreciate people who can easily and fast make money on suspicious ways, that kind of
Right.
things, you know. And I wanted to influence that culture or idea or those values. I wanted to send message that it's good to work hard, it's good to be honest, and it can be awarded at the end. And
Yeah.
therefore we award, let's say, best worker in Croatia, and we have many awards for entrepreneurs and, you know, managers. But I wanted to have award for normal worker.
Right. So how does it look? What is the process for the Little Lighthouse Award look like?
So we have a kind of let's say steps or guidelines what people are we looking for, and you can send this application via mail, on web. We have on web everything. And we do it together with you, Nolan.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support. So we award best worker on GLS.
Yeah.
And this is good for GLS as well,
Yes.
because this kind of additional marketing
Yeah.
for GLS as well.
Yeah. So it's I think we've done it 4 times now, right? We've had
Yes.
4 rounds,
Yes.
and we're up to, I think, 500 people in Croatia filled out a referral form for someone else, right? To make them a candidate for the award. Was it around 500 this year?
I think there was like almost 500. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
And then how from 500 we have 10 finalists. How does that look from 500 to 10? How does that part look?
We have several committees consisted from entrepreneurs with a good reputation, or professors, or that kind of reputable people, and they are making ocjenjivanje.
Their evaluation.
They are
Yeah.
making evaluations, and so at the end we choose best 10 applications.
Yeah, and then there's voting over the internet and telephone kind of.
Then we have a public election. All people can call and vote for someone, and at the end it's like a public election.
Yeah. What's what's a story maybe for you that you've enjoyed about one of the winners or one of the finalists? Like, tell us a little bit about one of somebody that to you kind of has stood out.
You know, I have to be honest. Almost every year I cry when I
do too.
When I read those applications, because it's really something special to see this energy, this emotion from co-workers or family, for people who do really great things and we don't know anything about them, and it's so great that they come to the light and to get award. And especially I was really happy when I saw daughter from first Little Lighthouse, when she cried, and she's very young.
Yeah.
And it was so great that she saw her father as a man who is really great man, you know, not because he drives a good car, but he's honest and professional. This was really great legacy that we do here in Croatia, I think.
Yeah, I know it's been more and more noticed in the media as it's. I think the first year or two people didn't want to take it seriously, or so what is this? But now after 4 years, people are taking it seriously, and it's been wonderful to see how it's gotten more and more attention. Can you take us behind the scenes a little bit about what it's been like for you in asking other business leaders to contribute, to join you in this? You know, kind of how that side of the story looks like.
I mean, the other part of influence we want to make with Little Lighthouse is not just to award honest and good worker. We want to change climate among entrepreneurs. We want them to appreciate good workers, to appreciate their people and their employees. And it goes not so easy because we don't have culture of donating as in United States. I mean, many entrepreneurs they are not used to donate. They are not used to that idea that it's good that they should share part of their profit with society.
Yeah.
But we it's kind of pioneering work, so it's
that's wonderful.
We don't give up.
Yeah, the main prize for the last 2 or 3 years has been 100,000 Croatian kuna, which is somewhere around 16,000 euros or so, right? Yeah. So it's substantial. I mean, it's enough that people kind of they stop a little bit when they hear how much the award is.
Yeah, our goal is to reach 100,000 euros.
Yeah,
but it goes slowly. We are very happy that even in this COVID crisis, we didn't give up, and we intend to continue and hope to reach 100,000.
Oh, that's really, really exciting. And it's been, I mean, the winners so far have been a security guard. You spoke of his daughter, 2 women who work in sales kiosks, I guess.
Yes.
And the last winner is a man who works in an office where he helps Croatian professional sailors resolve their licenses. And that he was so humble. It was just amazing. To hear his story.
It was very interesting that he works in public institution, and this people who work in public institutions are not known as a good workers, and therefore it was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because in public institution we have many people who are honest and good worker.
Yeah, that was neat, and it sounded like the sailors were all. Kind of rallying to go ahead and vote for him, which really says something about the kind of presence he must have with the people that come to talk to him. I think that's really amazing. So thank you so much for sharing about that, because I think it's a unique project, and I think it's very. I've often told people about it. It sounds very reproducible to me. It sounds like it's something it'd be easy for people to organize in other places. And do you do it on a certain level inside of the company as well?
Yes, we are just at the beginning. We want companies to perform internal election of Little Lighthouse. We do it in our company, and it's good. It's kind of atmosphere that we appreciate work, that we appreciate honesty, that we appreciate people who brings good energy, who help others. We want to change this working climate and ethics with this. We hope that many companies will introduce that election in their companies.
Yeah, and it's very easy for them to just.
Very easy.
It's informal, like they can just say it. Yeah.
We can help them if anybody wants to make this in his company. We can help him with some advices, so no problem.
Great.
We would be glad to do that.
Great. Okay, well, the third area we're going to talk about is spiritual impact. You've already mentioned it some, so I don't know if there's anything you want to add about the spiritual foundation for your work. Kind of why you do. Do you want to add anything to that?
I always wanted to have God blessings in my work, and therefore I prayed for God blessing, and I understood as well that if I want God blessing in everything I do, I have to be honest. I have to respect God's laws and rules, and I know that I'm not perfect. I know that many times I fall. Even I had to apologize to my people, because I was like ambassador for honesty, and sometimes I was not that honest, and I have to confess my sin.
Wow.
And I told them, no, this I really want to live what I'm saying, that I'm advocating. And I think that really God blessed us, because we are like a company. We have 130 people on Croatian market, which is very small. Our first competitor, we are almost twice as big as them, and in many countries they are twice as big as Mazar. So it's almost it's strange. It's like a miracle. I really think. I mean, we work hard. I have really good people. We have good atmosphere, and I think that we really perform good service and strive to give value for money. But I think at the end there is a God at the end who will bless or not bless someone, and I wanted to have God blessing, and I think it's very important to have that.
Yeah, we're doing well on time. So I remember one time we had a conversation where you told me about the kind of I think it maybe is the revenue per employee, and you were happy that by some metric your employees have, is it less billable hours maybe than some of your competitors, but you were but maybe better productivity. Like you were glad to see where you came in on that. Can you maybe speak to that a little bit?
You know, it's a little bit strange, and some people think that I'm stupid, but our people make let's say like this, competition have two times more revenues per employee than we have.
Okay.
So I used to work in Big Four company.
Right.
And that looks like you work from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. in one company, and then you have another shift in the basement, in the central. And actually they have that because people have much more overtime there. That's one reason. And we really strive to do quality work. And therefore we cannot earn that much as our competition, but we are very happy and we have more than we need.
That's great. So the Big Four, those are that's a term for like these houses that are kind of in almost every country in the world, right?
Yeah, they're really big.
Yeah, that's KPMG, Ernst & Young. What are the other ones?
PwC, and Deloitte.
Okay, and those are probably because people have probably heard of those. Yeah. But Mazars is on a worldwide level, kind of kind of below them now, right?
Yeah, we are kind of second tier, it's called. Yeah, but we always, and I'm very happy to say that Mazar partner in other countries have same values. We don't want to. Our ultimate goal is not to be the biggest, but the best quality provider. Quality is in the heart of everything we do, and it's important for us to be best in terms of quality and not biggest.
Yeah.
So that's our strategy.
I think that's great. And because you've still been growing and growing over the years. So that's great. Well, so 10 years ago, you created a business club here, I think, or wherever you guys were then, for Christians in the marketplace, get together now every 2 weeks, used to be maybe once a month, to discuss our challenges, study the Bible, and pray for one another. Why did you do this? And why is it? Why would you recommend this to others?
Yeah, I mean, it's Bible is a really special book, and there is a lot of wisdom there, and very practical things that you can apply in your business. And therefore, we wanted to exchange experience between us. We wanted to learn from one another, and we had a great time together. And yes, we are now like 10 years, and I am very happy that you also joined us, Nolan. And I have to say that without you, maybe we couldn't continue, because it's very important that you have someone to help you if you do things, and that's important also for business. If you do everything by yourself, it's very hard, and at the end you will lose strength, and you have to find good co-worker partners. I think that's really important.
Well, it's a privilege to be a part of it. Why would you recommend it to others? To be a part of a group for business people specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I read a book, Business by the Book, in Croatia from Larry Burkett.
Larry Burkett, yes. Yeah.
And that book had strong influence on me and my way of thinking, and there is a lot of wisdom there, and you can save a lot of pain and money and reinventing the wheel if you connect with normal, good people who have good values, and it helped me a lot. Yeah. And even you can connect with other businessmen, and at the end maybe you can do some business as well. Yeah. It was exciting to me recently that one of the meetings led to you finding an opportunity to do business, but it's a little bit of a social purposed business to provide employment for women who are in a recovery program to be bakers, I guess. Yeah. And it's in the beginning. I hope
it's been the beginning stage. Yeah. But that was really neat to just watch that happening in the middle of discussion in the room. Great. Well, those were the main questions that I had for you. Is there anything else you would find interesting to share off the top of your head? Okay. Well, so here's there is one question from Vladimir Hlavka from the Czech Republic. Says, "Why are you involved in Partner? Do you have time to have 2 organizations to lead?" That's a very good question.
I involved in Partner because I was very good friend with Dražen Glavaš, who was president of Partner, and I understood that if we change, if entrepreneurs have changed heart, then we will at the end have changed companies. And then, in the end, many people will work in better companies, will be more happy at the end, earn better money, have better life. Right. And therefore, it's really important to change entrepreneurs in Croatia, and young people leave Croatia because they are not happy with this situation. They can earn good money. They are not happy with the values that are respected by the companies.
Do you think you're seeing changes in Croatia?
Yes, I see changes there very slowly, but I think now is better than 10 years ago, and it goes slowly. And I hope I am not too arrogant to say that one small part is also to show that people like myself can be different, can be honest, can be professional, and can be successful as well. We didn't have so many people, let's say 10 years ago, but now we have more and more, and it's very important to have live examples of those people who and it's inspiring, it's giving hope that it's possible to have that in Croatia, not only in the United States or other countries.
No, that is great to hear. Okay, I think we have a couple more questions. So Maya said from Macedonia, said, "What a great initiative Lighthouse is. Very encouraging to hear the speaker. It was explaining Croatians' work culture similar to that in Macedonia, and I'm impressed by the possibilities and encouragement it brings to it, continuing with being honest and hard worker." So that's just, I guess, a thank you from Maya in Macedonia. Don Hetter from Tirana, Albania asks, what is your company's why? Simon Sinek likes to ask that question and start with why. So have you thought about the why of Mazars?
Yeah, I think wise this part of Lord's Prayer, to really um, have. I wanted to show that in Croatia, on the Balkans, it's possible to make a company who is honest and successful at the same time, and that was my, let's say, main driving force.
That's great. Is it easier, harder, or the same battle to do that over the years?
It was easier before because I had, like I said, 20 people, and I have personal relationship with them, and it was different when you have personal relationship. Now we are 130 only in Croatia, and it's
Yeah.
impossible to have personal relationship with every single. Um, so now it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. Thank you. Elvis asked, what is one of the biggest challenges for you as a leader to balance your business, impact your sphere of influence, but also the family and personal needs? Tell us a little bit about your family, and tell us a little bit about kind of how
I have 3 children, 3 teenagers. So it's very challenging at the moment. And my wife works with me, so she was a big help at the beginning. She encouraged me to go into this project of entrepreneurship, and she was really supportive through all these years. There were times when we loved and when we cried together. So she was a really big help all this time.
And she has the same profession as you.
Yes.
And she's also
yes.
Okay.
We got to know on college.
And maybe do you have any comments on how do you and your manage? Did you have some point where you said, let's not talk about work after a certain time, or how do you guys keep your marriage life and your business life kind of?
I think we can better understand each other because we go in a way together through all these problems, and she knows exactly when I speak about something, and we try not to burden our children with all our job problems. But I have to say, problems are always part of life, but we have really good colleagues, and we have good relations with them, and I'm very happy that I don't have many problems people have like in public institutions, or because I can have influence on those problems, and this is really good. I like that sense because I can change things. And, in public institution, it's very hard to change anything. Let's
see. There's another one. Mladen Banovic says, "Greetings. A question for Kristijan. Are there any written rules for Mali Svit, the little lighthouse, that we could get and use in our company? Is there like a proposal?" Maybe he's from Croatia.
We have something. Maybe you can email me and I will connect you with our project manager, and she will send you all best practice. Let's say we have.
And that's Kristijan Cinotti at mazars.hr.
Maybe
I can type it in there later.
You can find it on
on mazars.hr. You can also find it. So Wouter, our friend from the Netherlands, who is actually the leader of Europartners, remember we had the connection with them over the years. You talked about values in the company, but how do you manage to keep this alive within the company? Do you have programs, and how do you motivate people to keep them? So training maybe, and now that you have so many people, how do they find out about the values?
It's a very good question, and I have to admit that especially in this time of COVID and working from home is very hard to njegovati, kako se kaže? Foster these values. I try to communicate when we have team buildings, or I use my emails or Teams calls, and especially are important these this period of crisis when the COVID crisis started. I was really afraid that we won't collect our receivables and that we will have liquidity issues. And I said to my people, we will be like penguins. We will stick together, and we will go around, and we won't cut salaries as our competition did. And
you said they did it almost immediately. They just said
many of them, not all, but many of them. I didn't want to use that opportunity, let's say, because my strategy, my philosophy is not to pay my employees as lower as I could, but as much as I can, and to maintain financial stability as well. And that is kind of organizational culture that we try to build within our companies. We want to show them that we want to be different. We want to give them stability, any kind of appreciation. We really want them to have good life.
Yeah,
that's really important for us.
Yeah,
for me and my partners.
I know I was very touched. You invited me and my wife one time to, was it a 10th anniversary party for being a part of Mazars, or it was some milestone, and you had a party at the top of the building. And one thing I remember is that you had a stand-up comic come, and so it was a very light and fun atmosphere at that event. So I've seen that in you as well. So I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, about how you foster enjoyment, I guess, in the company as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's I use every opportunity I have to communicate our values. And as we grow, many people come who don't know our past, how we grew, what our values are, and therefore I really try to. I think communications is very important, and I try to teach my managers to teach others our values. So this is good. It's not everything upon me. My managers and partners are doing the same, and they share, I would say, most of them or all of them share our values, even if some of them are not believers or Christians.
Right.
However, these are universal values, and we share them.
Yeah, that is great to hear. I think there's another there's a question from Alexei. What was your biggest loss for being honest as a company?
What
was your biggest loss, financial loss, that you experienced for being honest?
Let's say like 20,000-30,000 or even more euros. We lost some. We couldn't get some big engagements because we didn't want to bribe anyone. But it's I don't see it as a loss. I see it as investment, as a price we have to pay if we go this path.
Yeah. There's something to me. It's being an accountant almost sounds like Jesus could have told a parable about this, because it's all you have to sell is your reputation. And I mean, in a sense, every time you guys sign your name to something, you're selling your reputation. So you could get away with it for a while, I guess, if you started to just decide to sign everything.
Yeah.
And then what happened to Arthur Andersen can happen to you, which is that you disappear one day. So that sounds to me just like it's like a very biblical kind of a dilemma that every day you need to think about. Do I really want this? And this question of, you could give it away, right? And
I mean, auditors should be honest. That's one of
that's what it's about.
That's one of the, this integrity is in the heart of the audit. Unfortunately, some people sell it. But I like this my profession, as this is really, integrity is something really important.
Yeah.
I believe personally that in business, integrity is very important, because business cannot function without confidence, povjerenje, confidence.
Yeah, a trust.
Trust, and trust cannot exist without integrity. So integrity is actually the first stone of making business.
Yeah, I think that was really strong in Business by the Book, or the Larry Burkett book was saying that trust underlies everything, because you don't want to do business just on the basis of contracts and things. Yeah. You want to just be able to call someone on the phone and they tell you when they're going to have it done, and you know that. So trust is fundamental to business operating well, and that really is very compatible with the integrity that as Christians we want to have. Anyone else have any questions? We do have some time here, actually. Kristijan is great at giving his answers. So if anyone else wants to ask, or you can also feel free, if you'd like to, at this point, to unmute and to ask a question directly if you would like to. Okay, well, Jakub from Czech asks, which situations or experiences had the biggest impact on you personally? Where would you recommend to start for people who want to start their own companies or businesses? I think that's great. Knowing what you know now, what do you tell people who are starting their own businesses? That's a great question. Thank you very much.
I think that one friend of mine asked me, he would like to open a restaurant, and he asked me similar question, what could I advise him? And I told him it would be great to work for somebody who already has a restaurant, and then it would be even better to lead that restaurant for someone else. And if you can manage or run business for someone else, you probably will be able to do the same for yourself. And similar was for me. I first started as a junior auditor. I learned audit, my profession. I collected technical skills, we call it technical skills, soft skills as well. And slowly, or more or less slowly, I became a manager, the general manager of that company. And I ran business for my for my partner, for my owner. And it was really good for me and him, and I really like him, and even now we have good relation.
That's
and
great.
He did me as a son, and he taught me everything. I'm very grateful to him, but I couldn't influence some things that I wanted to. I wanted to change some things, to sometimes to say no and that kind of things. And therefore I decided, and to have better work-life balance as well. And therefore I decided, okay, I will start my own company, try to do something different. And I'm happy, very happy that I've done that. And it's really important not to fear. I mean, it's better to start something and even go into bankruptcy than not to start and not to try. Because, I mean, fails are unavoidable part of every life and every business, and it's we will have fails in everything we do, but it's better to not to give up, to try to be brave.
That's great. I think I hear the don't be afraid, but I think that's also really interesting what you said earlier, that having a mentor and learning your business maybe before you really jump out sounds like it was a really helpful part of your story.
You know, I'm accountant, and therefore I like to plan, and it really helps if you ask someone who has more experience to help you plan, put some figures on paper, to think about it, and to understand the risks. But nevertheless, there is no business without risks.
Yeah, that's very true. There's another question. What is your vision for the future of your company? What's your vision for the future of Mazars in Croatia?
My future, my vision is that we will become in the region best quality provider for our services, and that we will be as a company little lighthouse, or let's say best place to work. We want to have very happy employees and very happy clients, and it's not easy, especially in this time, to achieve that goal. Yeah. But you know, our goal is not to be biggest. Yes. Our goal is to be the best and to have the most satisfied employees and clients.
Yeah. Wow, that's really I like that kind of thinking a little bit further than just the question of getting bigger. I really appreciate that. We have time for a couple more questions, and that's great. You're asking them. From Elvis, what do you what do you do to encourage the same values and business principles in your managers? What advice do you have for leaders to encourage the value of integrity in their leaders? So it sounds like, you've said that, so an accountancy like yours operates with partners. So it becomes very important who you name a partner in the accountancy, right? So how have you identified the people you were ready to make partners, and really make sure that they understand your value on your principles?
This is a very important question, I am very proud that, and that's maybe my biggest achievement, because usually companies like mine are grounded with several experienced partners, like one from tax, one from audit, one from accounting, and they get together and they establish company. In my case, I was the only experienced one, and my existing partners were like students or like juniors, and we grew together. And I'm very happy that I've gone this adventure with them together, and I helped them to become mature and very good professional. To be honest with you, even better than me. But the character is the most important. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of them are leaders. You know, I didn't want to have followers around me. I wanted to have leaders around me. So they are very free to say to me their opinion, even if it's different from mine, and then we have constructive discussion, and I really respect them, and I feel like I need their wisdom, their help, and it's something that's very important. I mean, all of them have good values. We all want to justice is very important, truth, and we want to be fair, and you know, that kind of things. This is very, very important for all of us.
Yeah, it sounds like in a lot of people that want to really build a culture into a company, it often, well, at least in a lot of cases, it works when you start with younger people, when they can still be formed, right? Yeah, it's I mean. Maybe a good last question would be, what's the best leadership advice you can give us? What's your favorite piece of advice?
You know,
or one.
Once I was told from one very spiritual man, I asked him that question, and he told me, everything you do best you can do. So give everything, so give full commitment, give 100% or 110% for yourself. Really be diligent. So work with heart, with passion, and I think that helped me in my career. But I think that's advice I got from him, and it helped me. But I would tell I think that it's very important to look after God's wisdom, to pray, to really try to understand where God wants to lead you. He has right advice for you, and that's actually that really helps me, even with professional things like expert questions. I pray, and I experienced many times that I got answer, very good answer, like idea, and it's really, I mean, its prayer has very big force in itself.
Wow. Well, Kristijan, I think our time together has been, there's some, Troy says, I love the advice, great talk, well done. And I think you really are one of the examples that we are so glad that you are in our network and we could have this time with you, because you are an example of somebody with all of your faults, and you're always willing to say that, but who does, you seek to lead both professionally, personally, and spiritually. You also have a social impact to what you do. You seek God's wisdom for that, and you have not only survived, but your business has grown. And I know, having lived here for 20 years, that one of the most important things is just to be able to say to people, it's not true that nothing good ever happens here. It's not true that you can't be honest and ever make it. And I know a person, not just you, I know now more and more people I can point others to and say, you actually can. Because I think it's so much it's like a spirit amongst the people, that when everybody thinks, no, you can't do it, so I won't try either. And the people kind of tend to follow like a spirit for a while of it can't happen here. And so it is a great privilege for all of us to have gotten some insight into you, into your life, Anita, your kids, Mazars here in Croatia and in other countries.